Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, and today we're going to do leaf number 15 from Shivani Creations video of 30 quilled leaves. I'm sorry, I got glue on the bottom of there and it distracted me. I'm just going to see if I can get it off real quick. I don't know if this will even work. It kind of didn't work. Oh well, it was worth a shot. Alright, so I've already put a couple of the leaves together, and I need to go ahead and coil one more of the green pieces. I'm not using my tweezers for that. You can, I'm just not. If you don't have a quilling tool, you definitely can use tweezers. I would use like a needle, fine tip tweezer, but all right, so for the light green or the lime green parts, I'm making these a 12 in my board, so it's a slightly smaller circle than the very center of the flower. So the green strips were a half, yeah, okay, so the green coils are a half of a strip, of a 10.5 inch strip. Whereas the dark green coils are a full dark green strip and slightly bigger. I tried making them all the same size and I didn't like the way it looked. And then I listened to her instructions and she clearly tells you use a full strip. So it pays to pay attention, which, I'm usually pretty good at. I just got ahead of myself. So I'm just going to get that glue to set, and I'll let it continue to dry for a minute while I work on this one. And grab it from this side just because that's easier for me. Add a little bit of glue, come down here, and I just kind of run that straight edge back and forth. You can do it however you want, but because these are, again, I'm still using the cardstock because I did cut out a bunch of it, unfortunately, before I got my paper when I picked up my Walmart order, and so now I want to use up these strips, and maybe I'll just save them for something else, I don't know, but I haven't cut out all the paper strips yet, so I'm still using up the cardstock. Alright, so here's our green center, so everything's going to be teardrop shaped. And teardrops, you can make them loose or you can squish them flatter. It kind of depends. In this particular leaf, she squishes them pretty flat. Then we're going to do the same with the lime green pieces. And I found I had to squish these multiple times because it is cardstock, just to get it to lay flat. And then when I wrap it, it helps flatten it out a bit too. So just trying to get that, pinch that point, and then it's easier to kind of squeeze it down after I've pinched that point. So there we go. And we're just going to pull that down a little bit. In fact, I can move this board now. So we're going to put some glue on the inside of one of them. And attach these two. I kind of want the points, the darker green, the middle piece, to come down just a little bit lower so I can get a better point. I didn't do it though on those, so maybe I should slide it up. Just want to keep them the same level or height, however you want to describe that. Alright, let's put this last one on here. And I'm trying to put the that fold piece on the center. Just, I want to hide it. It's not necessary because you are going to wrap it, but I just feel better putting it, The better I can hide it, the happier I am. Okay, so now we're going to take just a half a strip of the dark green. So 10.5 would be 5.25, and we're going to wrap the leaf with that. And again, I want to be able to kind of try to keep it lined up to where everything's level. I just want to spread that glue out a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm just going to pinch the end again, making sure, oh, and see my glue wasn't dry. Okay, try that again. So I'm just going to pull this around. I try to pinch the end just so I get a nice kind of point down there, and then just pull this around, trying to keep it fairly taut, but I don't want to loosen that glue again. Alright, so I'm going to trim that off. Got that a little shorter than I wanted. Got all this dried glue on my fingers now. That's the only part of this I hate, and that's just because for me it's a texture thing. You know. Now I don't save these tiniest strips. You could. I just don't want to keep track of that little bitty strip there. It was only maybe an inch long. Alright, so then we take and we're going to glue those together. Now she did not include a seam in hers, or you know, a stem. I don't know why I said a seam. But I think you could. Hold on just a second here. Okay, I just rewatched that. It's about the 15-16 minute mark on her video. And it might be because mine are cardstock and not paper, but I don't think I'm going to get them together quite the way she's got hers together. Oh, my cat wants back in. She shall not be denied. I hear you. Alright, so I guess since I can't quite stick them together the way she did, I'm going to figure out my placement here. See, I can't really get it to come together at the bottom. Well, I guess if I do it like that. Hold on a moment. Cat needs to be out. She's misbehaving. Should have been her name. Okay, we'll probably hear her crying on the other side of the door. Just ignore her. She's more than a little bit spoiled, to say the least. So I'm gonna try it like this. And put a little bit of glue on the sides here. And then I'm gonna hold these still and shove it in there. And see if I can get that to dry. Might take it a minute. Oh, it did kind of come together naturally at the base there. So let's pull this down and slide that on there. So there you go. Let me zoom in just a second. Oh, maybe I can't zoom anymore. I upgraded my my Droid cam so that I can use my phone to record. I just did it because somehow I'd changed my settings and I had the watermark back on there. So it might have been when I did an update, actually. That might have been what happened. Anyway, there you go. Look how cute that is. These are my carcasses from previous attempts. So, and you could still squeeze a stem in there if you wanted to. Yeah, Oops, let's go this way. I think that's super cute. Now I did mine reverse of her. She did her middle piece in the light green and the outer pieces in the dark green. I did it the other way around just because that's just the way I did it, but I actually like it a lot. I love the contrast. So let's see what else so I made, these were the first three that should have been the centerpieces, and then I realized I didn't make them big enough. So let's just go ahead and turn them into something. Let's do let's just do the teardrop again. We won't make it as tight. And I like to find the end where I glued it. There it is. Sometimes it's seamless, almost. And one more. There it is. So, do I want to go, let me put this on here so you can see it better. How do I want to finish that? Do I want to do it like that? Do I want to wrap each one? I could wrap it in a lighter green. I don't know. Yeah, what the heck. Let's just wrap it in a lighter green. To get the dried glue out of my bottle there. Okay. Just trying to get that glue to set. So these were just the extras that I didn't do the right size. They should have been a full strip, and I did them half a strip. So I'm just going to use them up. And what I'm doing is I'm going to get my smaller scissors. I'm wrapping each one twice, essentially, just to give it some contrast. Now, when you're using the paper as opposed to the cardstock, which is what this is, and you can always glue these strips together to make them longer, which you do see in her video if you go back and watch it, and again, it's going to be linked below. But the other thing I like doing, and I haven't done that yet this time around, is you can actually layer different colored strips together and roll them up, coil them that way, and so then you get some extra different looks when you shape your coils. Alright, so that was one. You better stop talking and start gluing. Let's do this side. Now there's if you've looked into quilling or you're familiar with it, you know there's different kinds of quilling. Something that kind of came along, or at least came to my attention later after I started, was how they just use strips to fill in areas, like on a flower or a hummingbird, and so you'll just see these different strips go in different directions. I have not tried that yet, but I am thinking that these strips that I cut with the cardstock would be perfect for that, because they are so stiff. They're going to hold their shape. Yeah, that's one. So I'm kind of excited to try that. Let's get this down here. Because I do like the way those look, and you can Google quilling and you'll hopefully I described it well enough that you'll know what you're looking at when you see it. People like to do like initials, like for nurseries and stuff, or like I said, I love hummingbirds and flowers, butterflies, and those look really nice quilled as well. All right, we got one more to do, and hopefully that strip is long enough. I'm just gonna go with it. Make sure that stays straight on there. It did go off just a little bit. Okay. So we're going to wrap once and twice. Ooh, looky there, just enough. Perfect. I'll put a little bit of glue. So now we glue these together. It's just kind of a little, kind of like that, except not as many layers. So that looks nice. Put a little bit of glue on the sides. So leaf number 15 turned out really nice. And then I went and, because I didn't follow the directions, ended up with a couple pieces left over to make this bonus little leaf. I'll let that dry for a minute. Hopefully it won't dry to the paper. There we go. Oh, there's the cat. Just going to round that out a little bit more. All right. So we ended up with, I'm sorry, picking up my trash. It's so small I can't get hold of it. There we go. So we ended up with this leaf and then our bonus leaf. So similar but different. Contrasting colors. They look nice. So there's a lot of options with this technique, and I really enjoy it, but you know, to each his own. If you're not interested, you're not interested. But if you like paper crafting or just crafting in general, this is probably one of the easier crafts of all of the stuff that I've tried to get into, just because you don't need as many tools, and the ones you do need aren't generally expensive. Boy, that's really glued shut. Now, I've been talking about in the last couple videos how I like to cut. I've been cutting my strips with my Cricut. I do have strips that I've bought. I cannot get that pen down in there. And there are companies you can buy them from. Quilling.com, I think, is one of them. But if you just Google quilling strips, I'm sure you can get them on Amazon and any number of places. Boy, that is really not going anywhere, is it? Okay, we'll have to work on that. But anyway, today, number 15. Tomorrow, we'll do number 16. So, stay tuned. She gets a little bit more fancy as with each passing day, or each passing leaf. She's done it all in one video. I don't know how many days it took her, but we'll see. So there we go, number 15. I like it. Let me know what you think. Thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you later. Happy crafting.